What's up, guys? Welcome to episode number 8 of the First Down Training Show. Today, what we're going to be doing is ranking some of the best and the worst high school football jerseys, and then we're going to be getting into some stories about exactly how much money Taylor Swift generates for the NFL. It's pretty crazy, you guys. And then we're also going to be talking about what college football team I think is up next to win a national championship. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at some of probably the most popular high school football teams that there are and some of their jersey options. Some of these jerseys are insanely expensive. Some of these jerseys are very interesting looking, to say the least, but that's what we're going to be going over today. So we're going to be ranking it on a 1 to 10 scale, but no single digits numbers. We're going to be given like a 3.4, 5.6, grades of that nature. We're going to try to be as fair as possible. So I hope this doesn't offend anybody if you go to these schools, but let's get into it. So now, first one we're going to be taking a look at here is Duncanville. So honestly, I love these uniforms. These are some of my favorite uniforms. Duncanville is obviously in Texas, probably one of the best 6A schools in Texas. They have, always 5-star athletes going to their high school, ton of talent coming out of there. I remember one time we did a camp in Dallas and we had a DB. So what we do at our camps is we'll have wide receivers and quarterbacks mainly. That's who we work with. That's who I work with. And on the second day of the camp, we'll invite some DBs out. And we had a DB come out from Duncanville. And I swear to you guys, nobody caught a pass on this dude. So a ton of talent, right? So a ton of money goes to that football program as well. So their jerseys, honestly, I love the color scheme. That's the same color scheme as the jerseys that I had in high school, the white, blue, and red. We were a little bit less white colored, I would say, but I love how it says D-ville on the front of their jersey. I think that's sick. I think that's a great looking jersey. Very clean. I'm one of those guys, I'm not the most flashy dude. I just want it to be clean. Clean jersey, looks the part, and you could also be able to add accessories to it easily, right? I think that's what we all want in a jersey. We want to be able to wear, a red sleeve or a white undershirt, white tights, and have it look good with the jersey, and this jersey gives you a lot of benefit to that. So I would give, honestly, Duncanville's probably an 8.3. I think it's one of the better looking jerseys out there. So next one, let's get to the next color or next jersey. So IMG Academy, with the amount of money that IMG has, unacceptable that these are the uniforms that they go with. I don't know what it is, man. Maybe I'm just not an Under Armour guy. Maybe that's what it is. But I'm telling you right now, I think they probably have some of the worst looking uniforms for a team of that caliber. They have more money than God. They're owned. I think they just sold, to be honest with you, last year, but they have so much money. Do you know how much it costs to go to IMG? If you're not living on the campus, it's 70 grand. And then if you're living on the campus, it's $100,000 a year. Not to mention all the donors and all the people that give money and how much money the football team generates. You couldn't get yourself better uniforms. Come on. I just think these look, they're a little too plain for me. They're just, I think just a little tacky. I don't like how the IMG looks on the front of their jerseys. I honestly think they could do a lot more and they could do a lot better. Maybe it's just an Under Armour thing. Maybe I'm not an Under Armour guy. I'm more of an Adidas, Nike type of guy. But I would probably give these a 4.7 if you ask me. But I think IMG majorly dropped the ball with their jerseys, all right? Now, let's get to the next one. So, this is Southlake Carroll out of, this would be out of the Dallas, Texas area, Southlake Carroll High School and Southlake, Texas. And obviously, if you know anything about Texas and that specific area, a lot of money in that area. And I honestly am a huge fan of their jerseys. I really like the green and the black. I think anything green, for whatever reason, to me, I remember when I was younger, I had this pair of cleats. They were the old school Nike Vapor Carbon cleats, and they were the same colors as Southlake Carroll. Maybe that's why I like them. But they were all black, and then the trimming of it was that forest green, and then the laces were black, but it had a green outline trimming. Oh God, the best. I still have them to this day. They're a size 7. They were cleats when I was a kid. And so I love the color scheme. I really like the color scheme. I like the green. I like the black. I'm probably going to give this I'd probably say a 7.5. I think they're not as great as Duncanville. I think Duncanville's, there's something about the D-ville, just a white, clean look, but these are close. This is definitely second out of the jerseys that I have seen. So that's Southlake Carroll. Now, Bishop Gorman. Personally, Not the biggest fan of like the blue and orange. That's just not really my taste. I think like Bishop Gorman has like some white jerseys. Like I remember, like you guys probably have seen this with like that. Have you guys ever seen that show? It's called like Quarterback, like Beyond the Lights, and it was where like Tate Martell. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tate Martell. But he was one of the best high school quarterbacks around. Like dude was insane, like absolutely crazy. He grew up in like, I want to say like the San Diego, California area, then ended up going to Bishop Gorman. And on that show, they had a white jersey with like a chrome helmet. That was the sickest jersey I've seen Bishop Gorman wear. But you know, like anytime they do something like orange or like navy blue and orange, I know that that's their school colors, they can't really change it. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. I just think with the amount of money that they drop, the amount of money that Nike drops on that specific school, I think they could come up with something a little bit better. That's just my humble opinion. So I'd probably give them like a 5.4. I don't think it's as bad as IMG, I'll tell you that right now, but I would probably give them like a 5.4. Maybe I'm being picky, I don't know, but obviously Bishop Gorman, they're one of the best teams in the country, obviously. And jerseys don't mean anything, but it's fun to talk about this type of stuff, right? So that's what I would say about Bishop Gorman. Now, next. This team is right around the corner from where I live, probably like maybe 25, 30 minutes, maybe not right around the corner, but they're close by. And everybody knows this team is Mater Dei. So Mater Dei High School, consistently every single year, #1 team in the country. They beat Bishop Gorman, they beat IMG. They have so much freaking talent, they have so much freaking money. And for years, I hated their uniforms. Hated it. Because it was just plain, bro. Like you see it on the screen right now, they have the gray and then the 2 red stripes. For years, all it was is they had all red with 2 white stripes, and then they would have all white with 2 red stripes. But last couple years, dropped a ton of money, like $100,000 plus on these jerseys, where they got these gray concept jerseys. And these gray jerseys, some of the best looking jerseys I've ever seen. Like maybe I'm biased because Mater Dei's close by to me, but I'm telling you right now, that was money well spent, especially if Nike hooked them up with those jerseys custom. Those are sick jerseys. I don't know if you've ever seen Mater Dei, but like those are sweet. And there's a lot you can do with the gray, right? Like the gray, you could wear a gray undershirt, you could wear gray tights, you could have white, you could mix in red because that's their colors. And something about the gray with the red helmet, I love it. I think that's one of the best looking jerseys that there is out there right now, especially for a high school team. And again, they keep it simple. Like I said with Duncanville, like they keep it simple. It's not like this super fancy concept, all these designs on the jersey. Like I remember in high school, we had this jersey where I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool when I saw it on paper, and then when we got the jerseys actually, I was like, I'm not the biggest fan of that. It was white, and we had like a blue trim, and then a blue number. But on the blue trim and on the blue number, it was like a tribal pattern. And I'm just like, why do we have a tribal pattern? Like, it has nothing to do with our school. Like, our mascot's a griffin. Like, why are we doing this? So I'm a simple guy. I like simple things, and I think Mater Dei is like, that's the cleanest, simplest look. So I'd probably give him like a 9.2. By far one of my favorite jerseys. Now, one of Mater Dei's biggest rivals, that is St. John Bosco. So St. John Bosco is, again, probably 30 minutes in the opposite direction of where, maybe closer than that. I'd say probably like 15, 20 minutes in the opposite direction of where I live, in contrast to Mater Dei. So I'm kind of like right in between these two schools. Big rivals every year, every time they play, complete sellout, tons of talent. Everybody on the field probably has a Division I offer, like by far. And so Bosco every year, uniforms are tight. But this is probably one of my favorite uniforms that Bosco has. It's this like gray navy blue concept. Like I said, again, I like the concept of it. I like the gray and I like the navy blue. I think it looks sweet. But within these jerseys, if you can zoom in and see really close up, see how it's kind of like, I guess, like almost like checkered in a way. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Again, I like things simple. I do love the color scheme, and the Bosco gray and navy blue looks absolutely sick. There's so much you can do with that. You could wear navy blue undershirt, gray undershirt, white undershirt, and navy blue sweatbands like we see here to match. But like, it's not my favorite jersey. I'd probably rank Duncanville's definitely over that. Probably give it like a 7.7. I like the color scheme. Obviously, Bosco's solid football team. Ton of money goes to that football program. But when I rank Mater Dei, probably at the top tier in my opinion, okay, you guys? So fellas, before we get into some stories, that is it for our jersey rankings. But guys, if you're a football player watching this and you would like to get bigger this offseason, you want to put on muscle mass, you want to put on size, check out that very first link in the description below where you can get our AG Labs Whey Protein Powder. If you use the promo code FIRST25, FIRST25 at checkout, you get 25% off any one of our protein flavors. We have cookies and cream, chocolate peanut butter brownie, this is our salted caramel frappuccino flavor, and we have a cinnamon snickerdoodle flavor. Me and my brother created this supplement company to give supplements specifically to athletes to help them with weight gain and to help them put on healthy muscle mass. So guys, again, very first link in that description below, use the promo code FIRST25, FIRST25 for 25% off your protein order. Now, let's get into some stories, you guys. So now, stories. This one I saw come out earlier this week, a little bit after the Super Bowl. Taylor Swift brings $1 billion of publicity to the NFL, according to a marketing firm. So let me tell you this, guys. That, you know, as much as we can all get pissed off at the whole Taylor Swift epidemic, I'm not a listen, okay. I don't like what Taylor Swift stands for. This is just me. I don't want anybody to come at me. But I'm not the biggest fan of what she stands for. You know, like the messages sometimes that she puts across, the things that maybe she teaches young girls at times. I'm not the biggest fan. But her music is very good. I will give her that. Like Blank Space is like one of the greatest songs of all time, in my opinion. But Shake It Off, obviously, again, one of the best songs of all time. So like, I'm not saying she's not talented. Don't get me wrong. There are other reasons other than her music that I don't like her. And I think we all probably get sick of seeing her on the TV, but you can't blame the NFL for the business savvy. Because think about what's happening in sports. Like, you know what I mean? Like you look at the NBA, you look at MLB, you look at just like the ratings of those companies and the ratings of those like sports organizations, I should say, on TV. And the NBA is dropping every single year. MLB is dropping every single year. I think ESPN just dropped the rights for the MLB. So people are not interested in sports as much because they're getting soft. Some people might say that like, oh, well, some people might say that about the NFL, the NBA, right? Like they'll say the NBA is soft. It's not what it used to be. I don't even like watching it. Some people throw politics into it. Oh, it's too political. I can't watch it. And so the ratings keep dipping and dipping and dipping. So the NFL like could easily fall into that. I don't think they will because football's too big in America, but you can't blame the NFL for riding that Taylor Swift wave because $1 billion? Like who wouldn't want $1 billion? They just show her a few times on the camera because what audience did they just capture? The female demographic from ages 10 all the way up to like 25. They just captured that entire demographic who wasn't watching football and now they're watching football. So guess who wants to advertise with the NFL now? All these brands whose target audience is that female audience in that age range. So I can't blame them. I think it's insane that one person can have that effect. And you got to respect that because anybody who has that type of fan base, you have to respect it. Do I agree with everything? No. Am I a Swiftie? Absolutely not. But you know, you got to admire the business savvy of that. And that's something to definitely respect. So that's just something I thought would be funny to talk about with you guys. Now, I'm getting to another story here from ESPN saying who will be the next college football coach to win his first national title. So I have the picture of the Notre Dame coach on here, Oregon coach, and then Steve Sarkisian from Texas. And honestly, I think it's going to be Coach Sark from Texas. Reason why? You have to understand how the college football game is played nowadays, right? So if you look at the college football landscape, what is the biggest hot topic in college football right now? Transfer portal and NIL. Right? So NIL is changing college recruiting. It's completely changed. And there's a reason why college football was a lot more competitive this past year. Teams that you wouldn't normally see in the Final Four or in the Final Four. Teams winning the entire national championship that you normally wouldn't see winning the national championship. So college football is very different nowadays, you guys. And it's all about the money at the end of the day. Agree with it? Don't agree with it? I'm not the biggest fan of it, but that's the way the game is played. So like whatever team has the most money is going to probably win at the end of the day. And that kind of sucks because that's not what so many people fell in love with college football for. But one of the biggest booster clubs, or I guess you could say donors, like people who donate money to the program, who has the most money is the University of Texas, by far. It's not even close. So if they want to go get a quarterback for 10 million, they could go do it. They want to get the best receiver in the country for 5 million, they could go do it because they have unlimited funds. So I honestly, my prediction for this upcoming year is that Texas is going to win. They're going to win the entire thing. And I think it's because they're going to make a ton of moves in the NIL space with recruiting because they have unlimited funds. It kind of sucks for the programs that maybe don't have that type of money, but that's just the way it is now, guys. NIL is no longer athletes making money off their name through sponsorships. They can, but really what it is like, hey, they get all these boosters together. Hey, could you write a check for 100,000? Hey, could you write a check for 100,000? And these guys are all multi-millionaires. What's 100,000? They write it off, they use it as charity, whatever, and they just give it to the program and they go get a player. That's just the way the game works. So I think Texas will be. I think Sark is going to win his first national championship. I would not be surprised. So that is ultimately my prediction. Now, you guys, what we do on every single episode of our show is at the very end, we will answer 3 questions from you guys that you have posted on previous episodes of our show. So if you guys have questions, guys, and you want to be featured on one of our episodes, guys, post them in the comment section below. We'd be happy to answer those for you guys and feature them on an episode. Seriously, we appreciate all the support. I personally, like a lot of people maybe don't think that I read every comment, respond to every comment, but I do. It takes me maybe about 2 hours every day on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I go through every DM and I read every single comment and I respond to you guys as quickly as I can because I enjoy interacting with you guys and that's my job to give back to you guys. So guys, we want to feature you on this show. So like I said, if you have questions, post them in the comment section below. Answer as many of those as I possibly can on our next episode. So let's get into some questions, you guys. So first question is from Isaiah Zimmerman, M5W. Can you do a video about what drills they do at high school practices and how to train for them? So that actually kind of depends, Isaiah. I appreciate you asking that. It depends a little bit on your position, right? So anytime if you guys have questions and you want to ask me about drill specific things, make sure you include your position so I could answer it accordingly. But one thing I will tell you about a high school practice, what you can be prepared for. This is generally how a high school practice is formatted in case you're going into high school next year. First things first, you'll warm up, then you'll go into individual drills, then you'll do routes versus air, then you'll do one-on-ones, then you'll go into team run, 7-on-7, and then team period. So you have 7 periods and then work in special teams in between. So that's pretty much how a high school practice is ran. So you really just have to be prepared for really any aspect. If you're a receiver, working on your route running, your catching, your press releases, and honestly knowing your playbook can help you with all of that. So hope that makes sense, Isaiah. That's pretty much the basic format of a high school football practice for those of you wondering. So next question. This is a long username, XJBDNSNZJFJFNDBD8784. Hey coach, I'm going to try out for junior college football in a few months and I would like to know if you could tell me what my journey would look like through and after junior college, with my goal being making it to the pros. Also, this is an alternate account, so I just spam my keyboard for a username. That makes more sense. Thanks, really enjoy the vids. Yeah, man, no problem, dude. Appreciate you asking that. Seriously, I appreciate the support. So I'm junior college. This is generally how it would go. Let's talk about perfect situation. After high school, maybe you don't have any offers. Maybe you have a couple offers, but you want to get bigger offers, so you go to a junior college. A junior college is a place where you could go play football for 2 years and earn an associate's degree, right? So you're not getting your bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year degree. You're earning your associate's degree. They just changed a rule where you could go to a junior college for 2 years but still qualify for 4 years of NCAA eligibility at a 4-year college. So let's use an example. I live in Southern California. A big junior college down here is Long Beach City College. Like, I grew up in Long Beach, so let's use that. Long Beach City College. And let's say University of Southern California, so USC. Let's say those are the 2 schools in question. Let's say you ball out for 2 years at Long Beach City College. USC gives you an offer. You then transfer to USC. You could go to classes for 2 years there, earn your bachelor's degree, but you still have 2 more years left where you could play football. So you go there and you could potentially play 4 years at USC. Whether you start, whether you're on the bench, whether you're competing for time, whatever. Now you said your goal is to make it to the pros. So after USC, after 2 years, you'd be eligible for the draft. So you could declare for the NFL draft before your 3rd year, before your 4th year, and then after your 4th year at that point. But you obviously have to play well. Junior college is no walk in the park. It's still college football with still a college football schedule. But that is ultimately what I would say the path path would be. So I appreciate you asking that, man. Thank you for asking that. I appreciate the support of the videos. So now, next question here from Logan Burgos Santos. Hey coach, the high school I'm going to next year doesn't let freshmen try out or play on varsity. What should I do to get film? So Logan, that's totally fine. I've actually heard of that before. And your freshman year isn't as important for recruiting as you think it might be. Yes, we all want to start on varsity as soon as possible. Yes, we want to get varsity film as soon as possible because that's how you get recruited. College coaches will not recruit you unless you have varsity film. So my concern would not be getting film. My concern would be getting as good as possible week in and week out. So when you're a sophomore, you have that opportunity to start on varsity so you can get varsity film as soon as you possibly can. So for example, how would that look? So freshman year, week 1, you have a game. You should treat it as a learning experience throughout. You're starting on the freshman team. Okay, this week, I need to play well. What did I not do well? All week in practice before week 2, I'm improving those areas. Week 2, okay, I try to put it into action. What did I not do well week 2? Okay, I'm gonna improve right before week 3 and just take it week by week. And if you get your skills better, then in the off season, you get bigger, you get faster, you get stronger. You're gonna be ready for varsity ball as a sophomore. You could get that varsity tape and start sending it out to college coaches. So that would be my primary advice to you, and that's what I feel your primary focus should be. So Logan, appreciate you asking that, man. Seriously, I really appreciate the support of the video. So guys, that's it for our episode today. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, guys, if you have questions, want me to feature them on our next episode, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you next time.